It's funny you say because you got me thinking as you're talking. It brings me back to when I was distribution sales, and I would have a distributor. And I remember a number of times I had a particular distributor, but sometimes they'd have someone that did a lot of the work, and that
Mhm.
person would leave, and I think, oh my God, what are they going to do? They're going to be totally hooped. They're going to be totally, you know, they're going to be in trouble. And but they had these systems in place and what have you, and they'd hire someone new, and yeah, there was a little bit of downtime for a week or two or
Mhm.
what have you, but they were right back in. I was like, I'd be like, oh, because you when you walked in there, you thought he or she kind of ran the whole show because you never really saw the owner too much, what have you.
Right,
But they actually
right.
had these things in place. I'm now learning called operating procedures and stuff like that. That I was like, oh, turn on the lights, punch in the code, whatever, right?
Right,
Take these all these
right.
things. Um, so that's great advice. And yeah, you're right because I take myself in that as well. And I always think back to the E-Myth book. And there's all of us are
Mhm.
usually part of the three, but we're more than one of. Where you either use the technician, the
Right,
manager, or the entrepreneur. Clearly, you starting your business coming from retail, you were the entrepreneur, so it
right.
was probably easier for you to get out of doing the technician work. Whereas a plumber starts a plumbing business, or a cleaner starts a cleaning business, it's really hard to let that go because no one cleans as well as them, or no one fixes. Um,
Right.
and so it's getting that out of that mindset and realizing that you have this big machine kind of to build.
That's an excellent book, by the way. I recommend that anybody who owns a business should read E-Myth. I mean, it is a great book, and even reread it if you read it several years ago. Read it
1,000%.
again because it really clearly defines and as I've spoken to my clients who are at that point where they want to hire somebody or they've got somebody in place to help them run, but they're not up to speed, they're not up to par. Should they replace them? You have to decide what you want for your business. Where do you want it to go? Where do you see it in a couple of years, in 5 years, in 10 years? What are your goals for your business? And if your goals are to move along at a quieter pace and you're not interested in knocking your socks off with volume and revenue, if that's not where you want to be, you want a nice, comfortable business, then you may not need to make changes. But if you want growth and you want to move forward, then change is never comfortable. If you're really comfortable, nothing's going to